Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Um, before I go any further, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to come back into your ears one more time. Um, today's podcast is, I want to talk about as far as the men. And sometimes as men, we get distracted. Sometimes we get excited. Sometimes we get overwhelmed. And before I even go into that, um, on the last, podcast I did, I had a few phone calls and people leaving aggressive stuff in the comments. That don't bother me, but the thing that, I try to understand with people is that sometimes people don't like, um, stuff that's been said, and the most common that I get is, you bashing women." But you gotta understand something. Over time and over a decade, women has been shamed. Women has been beaten. Women has been uh, tore down. So when you have that state of mind, and when you have somebody come along to tell you to keep on your clothes, to keep on your garments, you would think that somebody's bashing you because throughout your whole life, you've been dealing with nothing but trash, having men break you down, having men come in your life telling you you're not worthy, you're not this, you're not that. But I come from a woman. I cannot bash a woman because I come from a woman. And the thing about it is, women of today, sometimes um, they seek attention. And I'm not saying all women. Women of today are seeking attention. And what I mean by attention is that we go out half naked. We go out showing everything that God gave us. But like I say, before I go into what I'm talking about, the men, you know, women has been always been uh, looked upon as a whore. Now, what you mean by that, Ronnie? When you present yourself, for example, you go into the store and you see a piece of candy, and that candy is wrapped up, and it's going to get your attention. Either you like that candy or you don't like that candy. You have to look at women as that piece of candy because candy is good. Sometimes candy can be bad for you, but sometimes we get distracted because of the pretty colors, the presentation of that candy. And sometimes our women, not all, some, let me clear that up. Not all, some women wrap themselves up as the presentation that is good, but it can be spoiled, rotten in the inside. Sometimes our women look at things different from men, but that's near here to say. I'm not, that's another topic. But I want to talk about the men. You know, men of today, I don't know the mindset. Sometimes I try to understand our men. So, for example, when a woman has a child, that child have no understanding. That child is bubbly. That child can be crying all the time. But sometimes we have to guide that child. That child, it will let you know it's wet. That child lets you know that it's hungry. And sometimes as a child, we do childish things. And the scriptures say, when I was a child, I did childish things. And sometimes us men still think that we are children or a child because as the mother is nurturing this child, the child is still clinging onto the breast. And sometimes we guide that child to the breast. We show that child. Sometimes your breast can be sore. Sometimes your breast can be hurting, but you still got to feed that child. And men of today have not let go of their mother's breast. And sometimes the mother still put the breast in the child's mouth, even though that child has become a man. And listen, when a child is little, the child has no understanding because when you talk to the child is slobbering, the child is it can't control its slobbering. It's just you can't. But sometimes when you become adult, you have teeth. Some of you guys have not let go of the breast. The mother is still trying to put the breast in your mouth. And what do you mean by that, Ronnie? The mother has babied their child and they are grown men. This is why some mothers proclaim or testify that their child don't do nothing, don't bother nobody, but yet your child is still robbing the people out there, still stealing cars, still doing everything under the sun, but yet you still have that breast in that child's mouth. Child can be 2 years old, you still trying to breastfeed because of the mother babying a grown man. Now that grown man cannot function out here as a man because the mother still have that breast. That man is still sucking on the mother's breast because he is attached and now he's become unable. Now he become uh feeble because now he can't let go of the breast because of life situations. So now I sit back and I say, I look at the men of today, they so emotional. They're so emotional to a point to where that they ready to shoot, they ready to fight. Where did it come to a point to where men continue want to beat on women? Even though I know they did it back in the days. But at the same time, when did they see? Because you got to understand when a child is small, the child is taking pictures of the parent. It might be a single mother and it might be a single father. Or it might be a mother, father in the household. So if the mother and father is always fussing and the father draws and hit the mother, that child is taking a picture of the whole situation. That child is now thinking that that's the way to handle the situation. So now we set up here and say that we love our men, but yet the mothers can't let go. I was talking to uh, a young lady yesterday, and she tells me that her son is her lifeline. So when she said that, I kind of looked at her like, and then she looked at me like, "What's wrong?" I said that your son is your lifeline. What about God? What if God took your son? Would he still be a lifeline? And sometimes as men, we have become so aggressive. And we have to look at it. Society tell us that we have to be tough, we can't cry, we can't show our emotions. We can't do none of this because the women of today, they will put you down because you're showing your emotions. And we all have emotions. Sometimes women can beat men down so much to where that they are scared to show their emotions around their woman. And sometimes we're going to a corner or we sit in the car or we go for a walk to cry. because society said that makes you weak as a man. Sometimes men never show how to express themselves. And sometimes we uh, turn that into anger. We turn into hate because we not allowed to show our emotions. But women can show their emotions because men are not allowed to show. Even Jesus wept. So what makes you think a man can't cry? What makes you think a man can't show his emotions? But at the same time, we as human beings, we all come with emotions. But society said we a certain part of men can't show their emotions. And this is why I say sometimes when a mother babies her child, and I'm not saying that you got to understand today's man or men, we have become so attached to our mothers that we would never know how to really treat a woman because, for example, we have mothers of today allow their children to do anything they want. They allow them to say profanity, cuss adults out, don't have no respect for adults. But yet, this is why I say the mother are still or still having the breast in these young men's mouth. They cannot let go. They cannot let the young man hurt himself. They will not allow the man to fall down, pick himself back up, and dust himself off. But the mother of today, I was in Walmart when I saw a young man had to be 5 or 6 years old. Mommy, I want this and I want it now. Hmm. Now I remember if I part my mouth like that to my grandmother, I know there gonna be some problems. Cause she's gonna look at me like, who do you think you're talking to? But at the same time, the women of today take the breast out of the kid's mouth. Let them fall. And then as a man, they grow up to be a man. Then they can fall and pick themselves up and dust themselves off and hold their head back up. You have mothers that's 65 and 70 years old and their kids is grown, but yet the man is 32 years old, still living in the house with his mama. He's trying to run his mother household, but yet she's allowing him to do it. It's because she still has the breast in his mouth. And I say sometimes we have to look at certain situations. And this just conversation for the men. You know, sometimes us men get looked over, and sometimes us men hurts. We we want to express ourselves, but we're afraid to express ourselves. And men, if all the men that's on my uh, Facebook, YouTube, and all my subscribers, thank you guys for coming in. I really appreciate it. This means a lot. But at the same time, our men have to do better. We cannot continue to allow or distract or confuse our women. This is why our women are running to other women. It's because our men have stopped being men. And society said this stuff is okay. Society say anything is okay. But you got a heart and a conscience. You know what's right and you know what's wrong. When you're laying up with another man, You know that's wrong. When we keep doing things that we know that's not right, we continue to do it. But can't nobody tell us nothing because we feel we grown. Can't nobody tell us nothing. We do stuff. You can't tell me what to do. I'm grown. Men of today, men. What happened to our men of today? We are going backwards. We are doing things, saying things, and thinking try to justify what you're doing. Men, I wanna I'm gonna go into the subject because I just don't understand certain stuff. You know, men of today don't have no morals or no scruples or nothing. The first thing come out your mouth is, "I gotta do what I gotta do." Are you going out here and rob somebody? That's not doing what you gotta do. Where did that saying come from? Who came up with that saying? Because I remember me growing up, men had respect for themselves. Men had, before they came out the house, they had their pants creased, they had their shirt creased, they had their hair combed, they were smelling good. But what happened to the men of today? Because some men of today, they come out the house without brushing their teeth, without combing their hair. I don't know who came up with that style. Uh, hair walking around nappy. I don't know who came up with that style. It's like that sense of urgency in men of today is not there. Us men allow certain things to be done. We cater to society. We cater to the things that doesn't make any sense. That's belittle the man. Look what society say. Our men can wear dresses. Our men can wear man purses. What is going on with our men? And you wonder why our women are running to other women because there's no sense of pride. There's no sense of urgency with our men. You got men now are down low. You got men that's boldly say they're gay, boldly represent that they're gay. I had a conversation with a guy, and he said he's married to a guy. So I asked him, I said, who's the woman? He said, both of us the women. But society said this stuff is okay. Look at our men. We boldly and proud to say that we're gay. When I was coming up, gay mean happy. Their term of gay, I don't know. They turned something that God said that's peace to the earth because he said he will not destroy by water. The peace was the rainbow. Now they have turned it to something that's undescribable. Our men has become so watered down to a point to where they don't even believe that they're men anymore. And the reason I say that now is because they're going to get their anatomy cut off. They're going to get in the tubes. They're going to get uh, the air you spray for you dust off your computer. They even going to the gas stations and get air pump to pump their backsides up. Our men have become something that I can't even think of. because we are going by what society say how a man's supposed to look. How is it that our men can be happy with society saying that it's okay to marry another man? And I pose the question, how is it that God made Adam and Eve, but yet you try to justify what you're doing? You can't help who you fall in love with. To me, that's nothing but a ball emotion. You allow your emotion saying that you're gay to lay up with another man. And sometimes conversations like this, we don't like having because sometimes it hurt our little ego. It hurts our pride. But men, we have to have these conversations to a point to where that if we don't get a hold of ourselves, they're gonna wipe us clean off the earth. And sometimes men of today are confused with their emotions because sometimes the mother has baby, she don't know where the cutoff line at because she done baby a grown 30, 40, 50-year-old man. And now he goes back to his mother. Mommy, I don't know what to do. Our men of today has become so watered down to where that we are getting names changed. And then when you try to talk to the man, you're judging me. You ain't God. You can't judge me, but you are a man. There's no way I'm going to greet you. I grew up with you. And I said, "What's up, Charles?" And you said, "Now your name is Charlene." No, I'm going to greet you as Charles. Wait, Ronnie, you're so disrespectful. No, you're being disrespectful because you're trying to put something off on me. You're trying to tell me that I grew up with your name, Charles, and you're telling me I got to start calling you Charlene. Our men are wearing women clothes. Look at this. Look at society. Society is telling our men that we can wear wigs but still have the full beard. We're still going to accept you. We're still going to love you. What did God say? God created the earth, right? We can agree upon that. God created the earth. Why didn't he make Adam and Adam? Because the man can't multiply. Because in the scripture he said, go out and multiply. You can't multiply with another man. You can get upset with me, and some of y'all will be coming from because I know you're gonna come for me in the comments. But I need to understand what happened to our men. Our men has become more feminine than the women. Our men have become so lost in themselves to where that they feel that, hey, you're gonna accept me. I'm not gonna accept that mess. So let me put myself in this situation. If I had a son and my son came to me and say, Daddy, I'm gay. What's wrong? You happy? Well, what you mean? Well, Daddy, I didn't know how to tell you. I don't know how to approach you because I know your stance. But at the same time, I would still love my son. Yes, that's my baby. But at the same time, I don't have to accept your foolishness. You're not gonna come over my house with your gay friend and tell Daddy, this is my boyfriend, Eric. You want me to be, hey Eric, how you doing? My son has told me so much about you. My son talks about you all the time. So let me say this. As a parent, And I want everybody that's looking at this, I want you to look at my face. As a parent, you are a complete idiot if you fall for the shenanigans that your child come to you and say that they're gay. You accept it, you go along with it, and you're coercing that child. He's a man. This child is going to grow up to be a man. And when he grows up to be a man, now he becomes an adult faggot. And now you are saying, that's my son. I love my son. I don't agree with it. But you'll never tell your son because you're saying it in your head. You can't talk to nobody about it. Parents of today accept anything from their child. I can't accept that. I'm still gonna love you. I'm still even gonna hang out with you. But I'm not gonna accept you telling me that you want me to meet your boyfriend. I'm not doing that one. Daddy, you must don't love me. Did you hear what I just said? I said I love you. And sometimes parents will accept things just so their kids don't hate them. So I asked the question, who are you gonna stand on? God's word or your emotions and your feelings or your child's word? Because God got the last say so. We set up here and condone the things that our young men that grow to be men do. They walk around with their pants sagging. They walk around like they ain't combed their hair in 20 years. These are things that parents accept with their kids because they don't want their kids to hate them. So I asked the question, will you accept your child if he said he was gay? Yeah, you're gonna say that I accept my child. But you don't have to accept the actions that of that child. Your child can be mad with you, but you just not you standing on God's word. I'm not accepting it. You're always welcome. My door is always open to you, but I'm not going to accept your foolishness. When you come on my house, don't bring your so-called friend. I don't care. You got men out here that's gay, but still carry themselves, portray like they're a hardcore man. But yet, like Martin Lawrence made a joke, but it's reality. Back in his comedy strip, he said, you out there playing basketball with your homeboy and you out there sweating. And your homeboy say, man, you look good. You sweat. And you didn't, he said he didn't hear it, but he said he heard it, but he didn't hear it. So he kept playing ball. So he said by the end of the day, his friend came, you look good. Sweat dripping all over your body. He said he didn't know how to take that. Where did it come to a point our men is coming out the closet so boldly, saying that they're gay? They accept things, they accept anything. But society say you talk against, you condoning people, you shutting people down, you judging people. I'm standing on God's word. And let me tell you this. I don't always make God's mark, but I know by me living in this society, I know some stuff is just not right. I know laying with another man is not right. I know women laying with each other is not right. Lying, stealing, killing, none of this stuff not right. But society say it's right. Now our men are walking down the aisle. You pull up the veil, his beard thicker than yours. He getting married by a devil. So Jeremy, do you take John to be your husband? And then the sad part about this, you got mama and daddy sitting in the front row. The whole church is packed and saying this stuff is okay. This is what society say. But yet you come along and get mad with me because I speak against this wickedness. Us men of today has become so confused in their thinking process to where it shut it down immediately. I always been this way. I always been someone that always hid their sexuality. Sometimes men say, well, I was born this way. So now you're saying that God made a mistake. You was born this way. Hmm. See how the stuff that people do try to justify what they doing. They always try to find a way to get out of it. Society say everything goes, gloves off, and we eat it up. We eat it up to a point to where the trash can has come empty because we ate the garbage that was in it. And I mean, society is the trash can, and we as the people are eating it up. We allow ourselves to say there's nothing wrong with it, but yet your spirit is dying. But you want to satisfy the flesh. And then the thing about it is you can get married into a church that condone it. Society has become so feeble. Society has become so weak. Society has just come to satisfy the flesh, not think about the spirit realm. But then they come and say they was a good person, but you died of AIDS because you want to lay with another man. You want to say that you love Ricky, but yet you say you're a Christian. Mm, mhm. You know what get me the most is these so-called Christians would accept anything. God love you as you are. God accept you as you are. Hmm. I ain't gay no more. But yet, soon as you leave that church, you'll land up with Ricky. Hmm. Our men have lost their way. We are having young men that's gonna grow up to be boys. We're teaching our kids how to be. What's up, pimp? Look how we're teaching our young kids. And I don't care as far as what society say, but you got to know what's right. It goes back to the end of time that if you don't have a strong structure of a father, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be problems. And not saying that uh, you're not going to have no problems with a father that's not strong in his manhood, but you represent your child as what's up, dog? What's up, pimp? Hey, you got the child wearing his pants sagging. And it got to a point to where the child is only 4 or 5 years old. You got cornrows in his hair with earring on his ear, with his wife beater on. Look how our so-called men are raising their sons. They think it's cute when the child cuss the mama out and he's only 4 or 5 years old using strong language. We think it's funny. We think it's cute. But that child's gonna grow up. And when that child grow up, you're gonna have some problems because you refuse to stop it when they was young because you couldn't control yourself. You couldn't say, let me put the brakes because I don't want my child to grow up like this, like I grew up. And some of us would say, you can't tell me how to raise my son. But society gonna tell you how to raise your son. Society gonna tell you real well. Society gonna put you that child that you brought into the world, society's gonna put that child in jail. This is why I say, men, get a hold of yourself, and then your child will start following you. Stop thinking with your anatomy. Use the brain that God gave you instead of getting drunk, instead of smoking weed, instead of partying. Grab your young king by the hand. Show him how to become a man, a decent man in society. But us men, all we thinking about to get up in the next girl. All we thinking about is who draws I'm gonna get into, who what chick I'm gonna go house and watch Netflix. Society has watered down our men, and they're using it with Hollywood. Hollywood has become Holly weird. We want to portray these actors. We want to portray and say that they are men. Here it is, you put a homosexual on a pedestal, but belittle your son. You go lay up in another man's arm knowing you got a son. You go out here and do everything under the sun knowing you got a son. You saying that you love your son, show your son that you love him. Spend time, quality time. And some of us men of today, we don't want to spend no time with nobody unless we get up in somebody's drawers. Some of us men has become release our seed and keep walking. And this is why I say I hold the women accountable, because if you know this man ain't worth a hill of beans, you met him at the bus stop. You met him when his pants sagging. You met him with his wife beater. You met him with his dreads. You have become entangled with a bum, a bed bug. That's what I call him, a bed bug. Because the men of today, not all, some have become bed bugs. And what do bed bugs do? They bite you, they suck the blood out of you, and they make you itch at the end of the day. And what I mean by that is the itch is when he leave his seed behind where you got to take care of that seed. This is why I hold women. And women, you should also hold yourself accountable. You can't always say it's the man's fault. I didn't want this child. Then why you ain't get on no pill? We have become so caught up in way society say we can live and it's okay, to a point to where we lost ourselves. All we want to do is keep up with the fashion. We don't want to teach knowledge or grow knowledge or collect knowledge. All we want to know, I guarantee you, if you ask anybody, what's the latest drink out here? They can tell you that. They can tell you the latest drink. Look at our men. Just look at them. They will beat a woman so quick, thinking quick as she can blink. Our men has been taking pictures of our parents for so long, and now that we can't control ourselves. Because if you ask anybody, they would tell you, I saw my parents do this. I saw my parents fight. I saw this. Now I'm gonna project this on my wife or whoever. Our men have no compassion anymore. Our men has become so point that where you can't tell them nothing. They don't want to listen. They don't want to do none of that stuff no more. Only time they'll listen is when they're in prison. And now they want somebody to stand by them and hold their hand because why? Because the mama is still feeding them their titty. You got men in prison today, mama on her last leg. How Junior doing? What Junior doing? Oh, mama, he locked up for murder. Oh, I kind of blame myself because I babied him because he was my only son. Now you locked up, and then your mother's about to take her last breath. And with this is just family talk. This is all we have in family conversation. That's all this is. We sometimes get so caught up that the lights are off. We have eyes, but we can't see because why? We are blinded what society say, well, how we can live and what we can do, what we can accept. We want to be so caught up with society saying that we would lose everything, our dignity, our respect. We would lose it all because we want to live what society say. Look at our men. We wearing tight pants, tight shirts. Look at the world and society say it's okay. Our men has taken on the women role and the women has taken on the men role. But society say this is okay. Society say that there's nothing wrong with it. When somebody come against it, the first thing come out your mouth is you judging. You can't help who you love. That's society talking. That's not you talking. I ask a question to your lesbians, to your dykes. Why is it that you hate a man, but you carry yourself like a man? You cut your hair low, you cut your breasts off, you wear the tight underwear as men do. You wear your pants sagging, but you hate the man, but you carry the characteristics as a man. Look how roles don't switch. Look at our men. Our men are now wearing mini skirts. We wearing boots. We wearing wigs. Look at our men. We go to Walmart, Walgreens, or Target to get the flat tire stuff to put in your breast. You go to the gas station, you use the air pump to pump your backside up. Look at our men. They even get confused to where they still got their beard, but you weren't walking around with a blonde wig on or a green wig. And look how society today uh, you can say I'm judging. That's fine too. But deep down inside, you know this, right? I'm the type of person going to have the conversation with you because I'm confused. And then our men that say when they're gay, they say, well, everybody accept me the way I am. No, not everybody agrees with that. What is this teaching our young kings of today? It's teaching our young kids, hey, be who you are. Society has books out here saying that how to be a cross dresser. Look at our men. Just look at us. Nobody want to stand up to be a man. I ask myself, I know still some real men out here. And some would say, Ronnie, stop judging. Ronnie, you're always judging somebody. You're always doing this. But society judge you every day. No, I'm the one who's just gonna talk about it. That's all. You might not like it. You might not like the way I say it, but somebody got to talk about it. I'm not scared to talk about it because I'm not scared of no man. I don't, those are your feelings, those are your emotions. I'm the type of person that I'm going to talk about it in front of everybody. I'm not the one that one's going to talk about it behind closed doors because that's what majority of y'all doing anyway, talking about it behind closed doors. Ah, man, wear lip gloss. You might as well just go to the car wash and wash all that gunk off. Maybe you going through that car wash, it'll make you come back to a man. Us men of today, we getting our anatomy cut off because we want to be a woman. Men, first of all, you know the consequences of being a woman, but yet you want to be a woman. You want to portray, I call you a magician, a faker, a delusional man. If you think you can convince me that you are a woman, but your voice is deeper than mine. If you want me to believe that, men, our men of today walk around switching. What are you shaking? You ain't got nothing there. You ain't got no hips. And women of today cheer that stuff on. This is why they do the things they do because society says okay, then you got women that's cheered on. Work, honey, work, work. And he's sitting up there. See, I told you everybody love me. They love you, but they're laughing at you at the same time. I tell you what, get mad with each other and see how many faggots you beat in. Then you will see how much they love you. Men, look what our women got to go through. When women start hitting their 40s, 45, they start going through menopause where their body is starting to come unbalanced. Where they 1 minute they hot, 1 minute they cold, and you want to be a man. How is it that you say that you want to be a woman, but you don't know what a woman go through? A woman go through a cycle. I was talking to some guy and I almost fell out my chair. One transgender or faggot or confused man told me that he comes on his period. So I'm confused. He say, I come on my period every month just like a real woman do. I said, how is that? He say, I stick a red popsicle on my backside and I let it melt and I put a pad there. Look at the delusion that these men think they are really women. But society says okay. Society says nothing wrong with this stuff. Society says is nothing wrong with it. And I know somebody gonna get mad and try to report my page. I know like it always do because people don't like truth. People don't like reality. People want to live in false hope all the time. Instead of living in reality, they don't want to accept reality. So they live in false hope. Men, what happened? Stand up. Stop bending over. Women body go through so much, but yet the men will go through trauma just to say they got breasts, they got a backside. And look how weak some of these men are. It's entirely weird. The reason why, listen to me, listen real close. The reason why these transgender or these faggots or these confused men are so popular because when one, the other men don't want the responsibility or when they release themselves in a woman because they don't want a child. This is why they're so popular. This is why your man, hey, I'm talking, hey, you, I'm talking to you. This is why your man is running to a transgender because he don't want the responsibility when he release himself into another man's backside. He don't have to worry about that man getting pregnant. That's just the truth of it. We sit up here and try to say, how he gonna leave me for another man? Hey, there's a song called Bill, but this lady found out that her husband left her for another man. Our men had lost the battle. Our men have lost their way. We want to satisfy the outward, but the inward, the end is dying. And what I mean by that is your spirit. Your spirit is dying, but the outward is looking good. Do you understand? God still have mercy on you as you putting it fix a flat in your breast. God is still having mercy on you when you cut your anatomy off. But yet you say you are a woman. God made me a man, but I'm really a woman. Look at the stuff that men are trying to justify why they're gay. Our men of today have lost reality. We have become so bamboozled in our ways to where we don't even know anymore where we're going. Remember, like I say, this is just family talk. This is conversation that needs to be talked about. Instead of us always trying to talk about stuff behind closed doors. Why don't we talk about this stuff boldly? I think women, I think if you stop cheering these men on, tell them they look fierce, saying they look gorgeous, saying they look beautiful. And I'm not saying that it's your fault that your brother is gay. What I'm saying is, if we stop going inside and say society says okay, stop coercing or stop running along and get along and saying that I accept you as you are. Knowing that soon as you get in an argument with your brother or your cousin or your nephew or your uncle or even your daddy, you're gonna be called the most degrading name that you could think of to call him. Because why? You have cheered on for so long, now you don't know where to cut it off at. I tell you what, I tell you what, men, I put a challenge out there to all men. And the challenge is go look in the mirror, ask yourself, who am I? What did God make you? Did he make you a woman or did he make you a man? Hmm. I know a lot of people gonna be saying, oh, this podcast was about judging. No, it wasn't. These are conversations that needs to have. This is why society is out of control because they're not having conversations like this. Everybody want to tap dance around hard conversation because we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. That's what's got us in the mess because of our feelings and our emotions. That's why we're in the way we are. That's why society is messed up because of emotions. Emotions. Stop allowing your emotions control you. This is why you think you can fall in love with another man because of your emotions. Because I love you. I know I said a lot, but it disappoints me when I go out in society. I see my men with armor oil on their lips. I see my men with wigs on. I see my men with dresses on. This is heart wrenching because why? And then you've been a faggot for so long. You've been an old faggot. How your skin, where your bed used to be, is darker than my microphone. You got little strings of hair left on your head, and then you wonder why you're catching AIDS. Oh, Bonnie, you don't know what you're talking about because you can catch AIDS by having sex with a female. This is true. This is true. But at the same time, how is it that you get some type of thrill hitting a man from the back? What kind of thrill is that? You set up here and say, I love you, but you got a dookie stick pounding another man. See, conversations like this, conversations like this really, really need to be had. This is why our young kids that's 13, 14, 15, they are struggling with their sexuality because they see their mama at home with laid up with a woman in the bed with a dyke. Then look at our child. Look at our children. Look what they're faced with. When their parents, let me say this. The only way society is going to get fixed is the home get fixed first. If the home is not together, if the home is have nothing but chaos and confusion in it, society is the same way. I thank God that I'm not young. These young kids of today have so much pressure. And there's still good kids out here that have not been corrupted, have not been bamboozled, have not been in a tailspin. Because if you got a good home or upbringing, and the parents are well mannered and well controlled in the mindset with a good foundation, 9 times out of 10, you might stir up with a little problem. But 9 times out of 10, that child will know right from wrong. If you got a mother that has confusion in the household because she's frustrated, she got 10 kids in the house. She's about to lose her mind, and all the 10 kids are by different dudes. And she's doing the best that she can. But somebody's going to suffer out of those 10 kids. Somebody's going to fall by the wayside. And then you got to, out of all those 10 baby daddies, one take care of his responsibility because of his upbringing. And it's not degrading a woman. It just be careful who you open your legs up to. If you know something is not right by the individual, why would you still have a baby by somebody? And I'm talking to your men too. If you see a woman is unstable, if you see a woman that loves confusion, if you see a woman that's always fussing, always into something, always gossiping, stop leading with your emotions. Look at who she really is, or look at him, how he is. Something was not brought up right, or someone has not raised them right or her right. Because you got to remember, a child only goes by what they see. If these younger mothers and these younger fathers look at the more damage they're doing to their kids, maybe they would get themselves together. As parents of today, stop getting along just to go along with your kids. Tell your kids when something is wrong. Tell them when something is right. And the first thing come out their mouth, that you raised me, you can't tell me how to raise my child. But, you know, I'm not here to try to tell you what to do with your life. All I'm telling you is that go into the mirror, look at yourself. Are you pleased with yourself? Are you happy with yourself? You the only one can answer that question. I just want to say thank you guys. Allow me to come into your ears one more time because it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor to come into your life or just come into your ear just to kick it with you. Like I said, this is just conversation. I want to say thank you and peace be.